But the idea that there's claims that, that King Charles told his family not to trust Harry. This is what the French magazine Paris Match is claiming. Endgame reveals in a message that was circulated in the royal family. Basically, don't trust Harry after his memoir Spare was released. Basically, don't tell him anything.
Well,
Because it
how
will go
can you trust Harry?
it's a fair
I mean,
point. But these claims that Harry wants to come back to the royal family, he wants to come back to the country, but it's that Meghan doesn't want to return to what she calls the royal soap opera. Do you think, look, you're unusual for people talking about this stuff. You're not just sort of pontificating. You've written a biography of Prince Harry. You met with him for many, many, many hours to discuss what you were going to write. You've actually met this man. Do you think it's likely that he does want to come back and it's she that's saying, no, we're staying out in LA?
yeah, well, she manipulates him and is in charge all the time. You see, she pushes him around and she tells him what to do. And now he's always walking behind her like a slave. And she expects him to be there and just admire her, which he does. But I think in his heart, he's absolutely devastated. I don't think he'll make a comment that he regrets it yet, but I think it's growing. And I think he misses, he's got nothing to do. He hasn't got an agent. He's got a couple of things he can do now and then, but he's just lost and left. And if she doesn't want him around, as she wasn't when she arrived in this beige dress, having complained that the royals insisted she wore beige because they didn't want her to wear bright colours and be seen. When she's on her own, she wears it. So, that's also a nonsense.
Yes.
And I think that he's a lost man. He's a very much a lost man. But think of what Meghan would say about him if he left her. Who would get the children? And it would be a nightmare. She would ask for vast amounts of money. She's just waiting to find the right man to take her away.
Do you really believe that? Because my thing is, when people say, I mean, oh, we'd all have Harry back, but we wouldn't have her back, etc. I would never want to wish that on their children, because I think children benefit from having their parents together. And so I would never I wouldn't wish being a royal on any child, but I certainly wouldn't wish being a royal in a divorced couple. That's not going to work well.
Especially
are we being a bit glib,
London.
saying, oh, well, we can all be horrible about Meghan, but actually, Harry did choose her.
Yeah, but you see, they would use everything they heard. They're running out of money a bit. And if they need a few more stories which they can sell.
They've still got the birth video, surely. Surely the birth video. I've always said they're going to eventually have to end up giving the birth video.
No, I don't think so. But it's just it's callous, actually. And with the racism, we've heard first there was one person was racist asking about the skin color, and that was before she was pregnant. And then Harry says, no, it's not true, when he was doing an interview with Tom Bradley when his book came out. And now there's suddenly a second one that Meghan's found or heard of or made up and told Omid that there is two. One is within the royal family and one not within the family.
But again, lots of people from mixed-race families were saying at the time, but everyone would ask, look, I married a ginger. We all talked about what colour our daughter's hair would be. But again, lots of families would discuss that. There's a way of discussing that is a perfectly reasonable discussion of which traits will our child have. But then there's also a way that is racist. But again, William, Charles, they've all denied this. Just finally, briefly, how does this all end? What do you think? I mean, we were all talking about this. How will this end?
Well, it's very sad to know. I mean, we can't tell. I don't think you can think in advance, really, but it is a tragedy. And Meghan was apparently supposed to say to King Charles, I would love to come and have a chat, but, I'd love to come and be with you for Christmas. But you can't believe anything. No. That's the trouble. It's a mess. As long as we're in a mess for a long time and she's getting masses of publicity, it'll carry on.
Here we are doing it for her. Angela Levin, royal biographer, thank you very much indeed.